this is Alex for the Good Old Boys Fantasy Football Podcast. For more videos like this, be sure to hit like and subscribe. And find our weekly Good Old Boys Fantasy Football Podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.
So, guys, we have the New York Giants on the docket to break down tonight. There is some pretty big fantasy relevance here when you think about some of the players that are on the New York Football Giants. You've got Saquon Barkley, you've got Sterling Shepard, you have Golden Tate, the newcomer Darius Slayton, the rookie putting up a good rookie campaign, Evan Ingram, and the emergence of Daniel Jones. So, guys, let's go ahead and start with Saquon there. The Giants replacing a head coach and bringing Joe Judge over. They've replaced an offensive coordinator. Old Jason Garrett is now in the OC chair. And, guys, they ran a 63% pass and a 37% run ratio last year. Saquon finishing running back number 10 on the year with 217 rushes for 1,003 yards, 52 receptions for 438 yards. He had 6 rushing touchdowns, 2 receiving touchdowns. What are your thoughts around Saquon?
I mean, he's the most surefire thing on that roster right now, right? You know what you got with Saquon. You know that there's points to be had from a fantasy standpoint with Saquon Barkley if he can stay healthy. And honestly, missed a couple games this year, and he was still worthwhile having on your roster. So, I mean, Saquon is going to be a surefire thing. It'll be interesting to see how Jason Garrett uses him because if I recall, he had another, generational talent at running back, but he didn't really use him pretty well the last year down in Dallas. So we'll see. We'll see how he handles Saquon, if he handles him kind of the same way as he could with Dak. But I don't know that the O-line's the same as it was in New York that it was in Dallas. I think there are some intriguing other skill guys, but with a new OC coming in, I think there's going to be some growing pains. I think there's going to be some feeling out, and I'm not sure that anybody outside of Saquon is worth risking a high draft pick on from this Giants team.
So he is position number 2, overall number 3. Alex, what round do you have him being taken in? And actually, probably more accurate, what pick do you have him being taken in? And does he finish top 4 running back on the year?
He does not finish top 4 running back. I don't think that happens. I think Miles will start to catch up with him. I think there's other running backs that'll have better years. He should be taken with your first pick, whatever pick you have in the first round. If he falls to you, take him. Unless you have pick number 1, I would take Christian McCaffrey with that. But Saquon should be pick number 2, pick number 3. He's a first-round talent. What was the other question, Derek?
You've answered both. Top
Perfect.
4 running back and what pick that he'll go at. So I've got you top 4, number 2 overall.
Yeah.
Kevin, the floor is yours. Same questions.
I do think he'll finish as a top 4 running back. I think even with the troubles that the Giants' offensive line has, I think that a lot of teams are going to take the Christian McCaffrey approach to some of these uber talented and uber gifted running backs, whether it's a Miles Sanders in Philadelphia or Saquon Barkley in New York. Where Saquon's an every down back, at least, right? He's a 3-down back. So, he's going to end up with more than 54 catches next year. That number's probably going to be upwards of, I'm going to say close to 70 as Daniel Jones continues to develop. So, yes, I'm going to say he does finish as a top 4 back. Where is he going to go? I am going to say his average draft position will be at 2.5. I think a lot of guys will kind of bounce here and there. If you're going to make me choose a round number, I will choose 2. But if I get to be exact on this, I think his ADP will be 2.5.
Awesome. That's actually about where I've got him, is kind of in that 2 or 3 pick, because I think depending upon what kind of league you're sitting in, if you're sitting in a PPR league or you're sitting in a league format like ours, that's an impact type of scoring league. Depending upon what happens with the Saints, and if Drew Brees and Michael Thomas are back together again, PPR scoring or impact scoring like ours, I'd probably go Michael Thomas with that 2 pick, but I think a lot of people are going to go with Saquon there with number 2. So I'm going to be kind of that same range, between 2 and 3. So I'll say 2.5 as well. I think he does finish as a top 4 running back there as well.
I said, fine then. When he's 5th, right. I'll be laughing.
That's all right. You can you go ahead and pass on him, and I guess I'll take him when it.
With my streak of predictions that I've had going here, I am just saying.
So with your streak of predictions, he's probably going to finish number 1 overall fantasy player next year.
Fade me right now. I'm in a bad spot. I'm in a bad spot.
Alrighty, guys, that'll do it for the Good Old Boys Fantasy Football Podcast. If you haven't done so, be sure to click the like and subscribe button. For Kevin and Alex, I'm Derek, and we.